Good morning, Gold House. Here we are again to do continue our literary analysis of a character. Today we're going to start writing, and I think that's why I struggled getting this out to you quick, because I know you're going to be confused, and this week I'm going to start Google Meets. So if you are struggling, please try really hard to make those times that I'm going to be offering. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start writing our introductory paragraph to our literary analysis of Squeaky. And in order to do that, we need to start with the claim or our thesis statement. So today, if you look at my anchor chart that I have up right now, we are going to re-listen to parts of the story if we need to. We've been noticing when Squeaky speaks, how she uses those actions, the times that she's thinking in her own brain. Why did the author include all of these details about the character Squeaky? So what are they trying to tell us about Squeaky? And then we're thinking, what does this character really want? What is their motivation? So we ultimately, what does Squeaky want in life or from other characters? And then today what we're going to do is try to generate a claim about the character that encompasses the whole character and the whole entire text. So not just one little part of Squeaky, but the whole entire Squeaky. So last week I talked about my dog Cameron. And he's kind of a sassy pants when I'm trying to do something outside. So if I look at Cameron's whole entire demeanor and who he is as a dog, Cameron is very determined to get my attention. And if I think back to that time when I was raking, at first, he was very impatient. You know, he was kind of walking around me like, hello, aren't you going to look at me? And then he found a piece of wood and was obnoxious because he was chewing it up into little pieces. And by the end, when I finally did try to give him attention, he was running away from me. So he was being stubborn. Okay. So ultimately, he was determined to get my attention. At first, he was impatient with me. Then he became obnoxious. And then finally, he was being stubborn because I couldn't get the thing away from him to stop chewing. So if I look back on the read aloud that we did with Will and my side of the story, I'm going to think back the ultimate thing that Will wanted. What did Will want? Will wanted justice. He was determined to get justice, right? At the beginning, he was minding his own business. He was self-motivated, right? In the middle of the story is when things started falling apart, and he went running into that room. So he was kind of inconsiderate and rude. He just burst through that door. And then finally, at the end of the story, he started to realize, you know what? I need to take matters into my own hands. So we can say he was more independent or resourceful in his own brain and his own thinking of how can he get justice himself. So if I show you something right now, I don't want you to freak out, but this is what you're going to do today. Okay, so up here, if you notice this thesis statement for a literary essay, character, you're going to put your character down, which is Squeaky. What is your claim? What is it that Squeaky ultimately is? And then we're going to pick out 3 of her strongest traits. So if you look at the example, possible thesis statement, for my side of the story, I could say Will is determined to seek justice. That's the claim. Because he is very self-motivated. That was at the beginning. He is inconsiderate in the middle, and he is resourceful. So at the end. So what I did to try and make this more condensed so that you understand this, here is my claim. Will is determined. Ultimately, what is he motivated by? What is one of his strong traits at the beginning? He is self-motivated. Strong trait number 2. In the middle, he is inconsiderate or rude. At the end, strong trait number 3, he is resourceful. Okay? Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is try this with Squeaky. It's going to be on a different sheet of paper, but if we had to think back, what is Squeaky's ultimate trait? What does she really want? Okay, and then what was she like at the beginning? What was she like in the middle? And what was she like by the end of the story? Oh boy. So the thing that I'm going to send out to you today is what you see on the screen right now. It's called Thesis Statement for Squeaky. So this is how I'm going to have you start it. And here is a list of the identified traits of Squeaky that you guys told me. So I've been looking at all of your read aloud responses. Some of you do that religiously and some of you don't do that at all. So if you haven't listened to Mrs. Clavette's taping of Raymond's Run, you're going to want to go back and reread those or re-listen to those. But here's a compilation, a bank of character traits that you could snag from. What you're ultimately going to do, pick a trait for your claim. What is the ultimate trait of Squeaky? Then you're going to pick 3 more traits of Squeaky. Think what she was like at the beginning, middle, and end of the story. Once you have that in your brain, here's what I want you to do today. Type your answer here. Squeaky is what? What is your claim? One trait of Squeaky is. Another trait of Squeaky. Finally, the last trait of Squeaky. So that goes right in here on this document. Okay? So that's part 1. Part 2, look at this. Copy and paste this into your own Google Doc. Title it Literary Analysis of Squeaky, because this is going to be the beginning of your rough draft. Okay, so everyone's typing a 5-paragraph essay on Squeaky. Get that, whatever you type here, you can copy it and paste it into your own Google Doc. You do not need to share that with me yet. You will sometime, but not yet. Okay, so my first Google Meet is going to be at 9:20 this morning, and then I'm going to try again at 1:40 this afternoon. Okay, so if you need help, I'm going to send out a link for you to join me to figure this out. All right, people? The other thing, if you have time, you'll do your own reading log and the journal entry for today. So the journal entry for today, after watching Mr. Master's video, which is found in the stream section of the classroom, what are some things you can play while being outside? What are some activities you would like to see happen next year that would incorporate more play or recess time during the school day. So next year they're thinking about adding more playtime. What would you like to do during that time? Maybe you have some ideas and you can share them with me. Okay, you guys, I know this is going to be rough, so it's okay. That's how we learn. So just do your best, okay? Email me if you have questions. And that's all I have for now. So we'll see you a little later.